What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me, Mikey Pipes. TGIF, ladies and gentlemen. TGIF. Today is Friday, November 4th, 2022. It is a little after 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm heading over to my, I guess, second service call of the day. The first one, well, it didn't really go as planned. We're going to redo some piping, and I'll fill you in next week with that. But I got a phone call from the guy. He goes, Mikey Pipes, I seen you on YouTube, and I need an estimate to install an automatic feeder on my steam boiler. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? What is wrong with you? Why do you want an automatic feeder on your boiler? Are you lazy? Are you incapable of adding water to your steam boiler once a month? Dropped it just like that. He goes, no, I'm adding water maybe a couple times a day. I'm like, oh my God, where's all that? You must have a flood in your house. You must have a lake or an indoor swimming pool in your basement. He goes, no. I was like, well, you're a smart guy, right? And he goes, yeah, I guess. I'm like, you guess? You own your own house, right? You must be smart, right? I'm not saying if you don't own your house, you're not smart. If you're a renter, it doesn't mean you're not, just mean you're smart, right? I don't see retards buying houses. I'm like, you're a smart guy. Like, where's all this water going? He goes, geez, I never thought of it that way. I'm like, well, you have an urgency, and we need to come over there as soon as possible. He goes, I agree. And here we go. Pull up your pants, ladies and gentlemen. Put on your belt and tie your shoes, because I think we're going into a freaking tsunami. Smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get going. So you wanted to take a blood transfusion, but not have surgery.
Actually, I just get surgery. Come here.
All right, thank you.
YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel? You saw me on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'm quite a popular guy.
I know you are. I didn't know that's
So hold on, you left a message that your friends and family tell you that you need what?
The
Automatic feeder?
automatic feeder.
They tell you that. This is what you need.
Yes.
Why do they tell you this? You tell
Because
them,
every time I need to because this one go down and
How
it's
often-
shut off.
how often are you adding water?
No, when it's
I know when it's on. How often are you adding water?
it depends on how open it turns on.
How long have you lived in the house for?
It's 2009, since 2009.
So
More than
12, 13 years?
Oh.
Okay. How often did you add water when you first moved into the house? If you can recall correctly. Once a month?
No, not once a month.
Once the heating season?
When it's heating season.
Yes.
So I open this one
Yes.
and then just refill it until.
Let's take a look. Well, looking pretty clean. So you're adding water once a day, at least. When?
Once a
I'm not
day.
talking about. When I ask how often you're adding water, I'm referring to during the heating season. How often are you adding water during the heating season?
Okay, so when the heat is on for one day at least, I need to refill it sometimes one or twice
A day.
a day.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. When the heat is on, you have radiators in the house, right? And radiators in the house, right? When the heat is on, do you hear them continuously?
Not continuously. It's mostly when it's
First turns on. But then it stops.
It stops.
So, and then it stops.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Turn the heat on.
Okay.
Raise the thermostat up, and we're gonna see what's going on with this boiler. Old water heater right here, 40 gallon, 3-inch, slightly back pitched, slightly, but IN5, too big for the house, from manufacture date of June 2020. Oh, 20, 2,000. That was the thermostat relay that just clicked on. The vent damper is opening. Once that opens, the end switch is going to close. And if the pressure control is happy, the low water cutoff is happy, the rollout switch is happy, and spill switch is happy, we'll have ignition like we have right now. Okay. Now we see what happens.
When I'm not here,
I can hear it.
But the thing is, when we're on vacation, like we need somebody
To come and you need to house sit. You need someone to house sit. I can hear it already. Let's take a look. Because you can hear it. Let's see. Let's see. Still kind of cold, but I can hear it. Let this thing heat up, and we're going to check the top of the chimney shortly. You should be draining the boiler once a month, and that is for two reasons. Number one, the primary reason is you're testing the low water cutoff. The low water cutoff is the primary defense mechanism of the boiler, where if there's not insufficient water, the boiler's not going to operate. If the boiler was to operate with insufficient water, or no water condition, the boiler will, the seals in between each sections of the cast iron of the cast iron block will fail. They'll melt, and it's not safe. And you could have an explosion. Nothing crazy, but if you add water to that hot boiler, it's going to crack and it's going to explode kind of, and it's upon itself. So that's the number one reason for testing the low water cutoff. You're making sure that the probe that's sitting in the water senses water, and when it should, and when it doesn't, when there's no water, it doesn't. The number two reason.
So I'm not supposed to stop until the water cutoff level reach.
Until the light turns on.
Okay.
And if while the boiler is running, if you want to do it while the boiler is running, until the boiler turns off. All right, so the yellow light will flash on the low water cutoff, right, and then it will turn off. The boiler will turn off shortly thereafter. Number two reason, right, for draining the boiler once a month, and it's written in the manual too, by the way, the boiler, is you're a smart guy. We were talking on the phone, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. You're adding water once a day. Something's going on. You're an educated guy. Pop quiz. What temperature, and if you don't know, it's fine too. What temperature does water boil at? Do you know? Take a wild guess.
100 something.
100 and something. Close. 212 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's actually a very unique number, 212 degrees, and I'll tell you why. Because at 212 degrees, water can be a liquid or a vapor.
Oh, okay.
And the amount of energy, or natural gas in this case, that's required for the water to go from a liquid to a vapor form is astronomical. It is a ridiculous amount more energy that's needed to create water that's, at 212 degrees, which is not boiling and is not creating steam. To get it to that boiling point is an astronomical amount of more fuel, energy that's needed. That means money, right? That's clean water.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's clean water. Imagine if it's not clean. Well, water's dirty is not going to boil at 212 degrees. You're going to spend a boatload of more cash to burn that fuel, to heat that water, to create steam, to heat your house. And if it's not well insulated, well, you're just heating the atmosphere.
Yeah, I heard that from your...
All right, it's a cloudy day, but I really don't see anything coming out of this boiler, the top of the chimney. I don't see anything. Again, we have a very, very foggy day, and it's fog. It's a clear day out there. It's just fog. Yeah. But we can't see the top of the chimney, and we can't see any smoke. It looks fine. So yeah. All right. So there's our water level. It went down a little bit since the boiler's been on.
Yeah, it's like...
All right. How do you add water?
So
there's a valve right
when it's
there.
like that, I just
open that valve.
Open this.
Okay.
And then
let's leave that open for a little while. And that appears to be hot water, which it is good. Okay, leave that open. All right, we're gonna fill this boiler with water.
Like overflow?
Overflow, correct. We're gonna fill it up, and you haven't been draining this boiler, have you?
I drained that.
You haven't been draining the boiler.
I'm not sure. It's not heating season that time or.
Oh,
winters.
it's
I mean,
November.
No, before I drain it, and
Okay.
then I refill it with new one
Okay. All
until
right.
the rust came out.
Correct. All right. So let's wait like 10 more seconds, and then I'm gonna have you turn off the valve. Okay.
Is there
Let's close that valve, and you do it slowly. Okay, you can close it. Good. Excellent. Fully
so
closed.
you said this one is for hot?
Yeah, so I just followed the copper water line, which is right there. Comes up, across, here, there,
This
there, and there,
one is
to here. You can also tell the major difference. You see how this color is more copperish color, and this is darker?
because this one.
The darker is cold water.
Oh, okay.
Right, when it comes to copper, the darker copper is always cold. All right, and let's take a peek at the bottom of the boiler. I'm going to turn off the switch just for, and I don't see any indication of any leak. And I didn't notice that before, and I'm not seeing that now. I think this boiler is intact. I think that you may have other problems, but you don't have a compromised boiler.
But how much if you change
The what?
this one?
Which? The valve?
The valve.
Well, the valve is really not much. It's got to get in there. You got to drain the entire boiler. But right now we're back to where we was. We took out about 5 gallons worth of water, but you do need a new valve. We should probably do that. We should probably change the valve, but I got to drain the boiler to change the valve.
Okay.
So we'll drain that since I'm here. Now we need to talk about you're telling me that you're adding water when the boiler is on a daily basis.
Okay.
Right? You can't go away because someone needs to house it for you.
Not really.
No, if you go away during the winter.
Yeah, like in
Vacation during the winter. Someone's got to add water to the boiler.
Yeah, somebody.
Because if you're gone for a weekend, it's out.
It depends on how cold it is.
I hear you. So let's talk about a few things. What temperature do you like to keep the boiler at? Or the thermostat at?
Usually here in.
Oh, hold on a
I
second.
usually.
All right, so that's almost done. Let's close this. We're going to dump this bucket. We're going to put the bucket there.
Usually, how many gallons of water?
I normally tell my customers, my clients, the homeowners that have steam, that if you have steam, you want to take a 5-gallon bucket. Now, some people don't have 5-gallon buckets, right? But you want to take a 5-gallon bucket, and you want to put it below the valve, because it fits perfectly underneath there, normally. Here, you have the washing machine.
I know.
It's, you know.
When I came, it's already like this. So
I know. But it's a problem. But I normally say take a 5-gallon bucket, and that will be sufficient.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now the last
Break
time,
everything.
yes,
And then change everything again.
correct.
Oh, okay.
So the last time I had a gauge to change, it broke. But fortunately, for this case, it's coming out. No, it's coming out. I don't. This valve ain't playing games with me. You know, I'm gonna show who's boss. I'm the boss. It should know. It should know better. It's just it's a very, very tight spot. Here, I need to make this a little bit. Use the nitpicks. It's a little bit smaller. Get in there like that. Okay. Come on. Get in there. Come on, nitpicks. Nope. Let's see. A little bit smaller. Okay. Get this gauge out of there, but it's not cooperating. Nope. Let's see if I can get in there with this instead. There we go. Okay. Now. Okay.
So when do you vlog? When it's
When do I vlog?
when it's a big project?
You know,
or a different one that you just.
It's funny. It's funny you mention that. So when do I vlog? I guess you can call it vlogging, right?
Yeah, that's what they said, vlogging or on your.
I call it content creation.
Yeah.
But it's a vlog. You know, my Mikey Pipes Uncensored channel, that's more of a vlog.
Oh, the uncensored one?
Yeah. Because I can curse.
I know, right?
Right? I can say things like that. But when do I vlog? Honestly, I go to work. I perform service calls strictly for the content. I can create any single job I go on can make great content or a great vlog, right? This is a perfect example. We're adding water to your boiler every day. We haven't figured out why yet, but we are seeing other problems along the way. Your thing was dripping every 5 seconds.
Oh, that one.
Right, the valve, right?
Yeah.
Could that contribute? That's not helping,
Yeah.
right? You're very fortunate though, because I did it. I showed you. We filled up the boiler. We flooded the boiler. I'm not talking about flooding the system like the guy from last week with the failed automatic feeder, right? We're not talking about a failed, a flooded system.
Yeah.
Where the piping is all filled with water and seals and gaskets give way because it's not used to that kind of pressure. We're talking about just filling it to the top of the boiler, right around the top, right around here, and see if anything drips. I knew right away when I first got here, when I took the cover off, when I looked inside, everything was clean. Either a problem just started to occur, or there is no problem at all with the integrity of the cast iron block.
Oh.
There's no problem with that. We filled it up. Nothing dripped. There's no rust. There's no indications of drippage inside the combustion chamber. Everything looks fine. Something else is wrong. The valve is dripping every 2 seconds. How often are you dumping that bucket?
Actually,
every day.
I just dump.
Yes.
Almost full.
Almost full. Yeah. So how many times you're dumping the bucket every day?
Something like every day now.
Yes.
Because it happens only when I
know.
And then it stopped for a couple of days.
I know.
But I said, no, it's not gonna be supposed to be like this because before I drain it open and then it's not doing that.
Yes.
Especially when I see rust.
Correct.
Oh,
so when I
dumped it.
When we have a boiler that's a steam system that's constantly adding water, and we verified the integrity of the boiler, which we have. It finally stopped dripping. When we verified the integrity of the cast iron block, right, which is the most heaviest and most expensive component of the boiler, which you don't see is behind all the covers.
Yeah.
Now we need to keep digging, right? We have the dripping valve. You're emptying this bucket once a day. Where's all the water going? It's going into the bucket, right? Now that we're going to put a nice quarter-turn valve, like this, it'll never leak. Well, listen, eventually it'll leak, 20 years from now, right? But it's a ball valve, not like this that keeps turning like like old school. Like this. This is a ball valve. You add water every day, not anymore. Not anymore. But listen, if you call me over the weekend or next week, say, Mike, let's put the water feeder in. I would like to not to, but you're not going to need to anymore. Right, because we found one leak, and we're gonna keep digging. You're gonna get your money's worth. That's what I guarantee everyone. Let me put this sight glass in. The gauge. No, this is the old one. This is the new one. All right, and we're at 0 psi. Sometimes you take these out of the box; they're reading a pressure already.
Oh, so that's it.
Yeah, it's already bad. It's already a bad one. So let's put this pressure gauge on the boiler here. And I am just going to use my super strong hand and get that on there nice and snug. Or it's not going to go anywhere. There it is. There it is. Next, we're going to do the valve. Yep, we're good. Now we do the valve.
I did this one, the pump.
The pump? So eject the pump?
Yeah, because it broke, so I think they changed it. I'm not sure if you're the one who went there, but
here?
No, Cottage Street.
Oh, maybe. Me? I primarily, like we were saying, I do service calls to create content. I don't do it to work.
Just create content.
What?
Create content.
Create content.
That's good.
Right? I don't do it to pay the bills, right? Because I have guys for that. I guess I'm the boss. I guess I could say that, right?
Yeah, you're the
boss.
boss.
I am the boss, right? But I'll tell you one thing. YouTube and the business that my company gets from people like you. You're a perfect example, right? account for a significant portion of my business revenue. It does. Years ago, it was all about advertising in the yellow pages, right? Yeah. Making sure that you have nice, expensive ads in the yellow pages. Then, with 2010, 2012, around there, we had the internet. Yeah. Everyone's advertising on the internet. That's still the case right now. But the social media is still untapped. What I do and what I create on YouTube, you cannot duplicate unless you do it yourself. And either you do it or you don't do it. And no one else does it. I know. In the United States, if you were to, just try to find a search of YouTube plumbers or YouTube HVAC guys, listen, there's a lot of HVAC guys out there that have, a couple hundred or a couple thousand or maybe 20,000 subscribers or followers, whatever you want to call them, right? As far as plumbers, there's only a handful. How many plumbers are in Valley Stream alone? There's a handful. Right? I get calls from people from Connecticut, from the Carolinas, to me. They call me. They want to help. And I have an iPhone consult. Oh, okay. Right? $50, 15 minutes, you get me on a Zoom. FaceTime. And I'll help you along the way for 15 minutes, $50. Mm-hmm. Right? And I help them.
That's good.
And it's fun. I do it in the afternoons.
Oh, okay.
It's fun. But I enjoy what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I love working with my hands. I love fixing things. And I love interaction with people. I would never have met you unless you had called me and invited me to your home to figure out what's going on here. But I enjoy that. I enjoy fixing things. Yeah. Right? But you have to have the personality to do this.
I know.
And you have to also make sure you do it the right way. A lot of people there don't know what the hell they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They're absolutely clueless.
When they see your video and it's not right.
Correct. And you know what? I've had, and I tell niggas, I don't know everything. No one's perfect. We all are human. Uh-huh. We make mistakes. Right? Yeah. But if you make a mistake, if you keep doing the same mistake over and over again, what's that the definition of?
That means that you're not capable.
Or insanity. Oh. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, expect different results, but actually it's not definition. Yeah, but it means you're not capable. Correct. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, and you keep doing it the wrong way, you're insane. Right? So if I do something wrong, or I think I'm doing something wrong, I'll say it in a video. I'm like, listen, what am I doing wrong? Tell me. Please help me. There was one thing last summer, a rooftop unit, a commercial building. The whole thing's on the whole entire roof is on an angle, and so is the unit, and it's draining the wrong way. Oh. People gave me some good, helpful advice on how to make it work. All right, there's a new valve. There's a pressure gauge. Let's add some water.
So I'm lucky that you're able to...
Yeah, so I was actually on my way home. But you called, and I was concerned because you're adding water every day. And if you have a steam boiler and it's dripping, and you have other problems going on, and I wanted to come because it's a safety issue. Mm-hmm. I don't care if regardless of what it takes. If you're not safe, I have no business doing any work for you, and neither does anyone else. If the homeowner, you, are not safe at the end of the day, we have no business doing anything, right? And I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, that's why it's good when the thinking of those, especially the owner,
yes,
like to help and
and my guys have the same exact mentality and the same feeling. If we're not gonna do, that's why my company, we do combustion tests on the boilers that we work on. And we prove that it's safe. If it's not safe, now you know. And it's on you. And you sign basically a disclaimer. Listen, I know I'm going to die. I'm joking. Or I know there's a problem. Right? And no one else has done it. Yes, the boiler's 30, 40, 50, 60, however old it is. It's 2 years old. Right? But now you know. And if something goes wrong, it's on you. Because in New York, we legally can't turn off equipment. There's no law that says a plumber who finds a problem can actually turn it off. Not yet, at least. Okay, so now you have water right where the mark was. We're gonna turn it back on. I'm gonna put some stuff away, and I want to check that the main steam main in the bathroom ceiling.
Okay.
And then we should be okay. All right, doing combustion analysis. Our combustion probe.
But more or less, how much is gonna be changing that one?
The water heater?
Yeah.
Well, there's one big concern that I have with this water heater, and that is the pitch of the existing exhaust pipe. For starters, the exhaust pipe needs to go uphill. Yours is just about downhill. Just about. Also, Your water heater, I'm going to spit some code out now.
Okay.
It's 35,000 BTUs, right? I've proven that because I have a picture of it, because I know how old it is. And there is the BTUs. It's 35,500 BTUs.
This one.
What?
You saying this one, the BTU?
It's 35,500.
Oh, okay.
The code for under 40,000 BTUs, and below, for up to a certain size, is 3-inch exhaust pipe, which is what you have. New water heaters are 40,000 BTUs, and that requires 4-inch exhaust pipe. Not a big deal, because you have a 3x4 reducer right there.
Okay.
That right there. Yeah, that's a 6x4 smoke T. Y, sorry, and that's a reducer, and then it goes to 3-inch. But the problem I have is this is a little bit higher than that. And you may not be able to get a 40-gallon water heater in here, which is a little bit taller and a little bit wider, with the 4-inch smoke pipe and have proper pitch. So we may need to get a low boy. But we would figure that out by taking some measurements. We may be able to push up, break open the chimney over there, because you said you had a liner. We may be able to push it up a little bit and gain the couple inches that we may need. But until we take some measurements, because if we ain't testing, you're guessing. If we ain't measuring, we don't measure twice, we don't measure twice and cut twice 3 times, or measure, you know what I mean? Yeah. You measure once and cut twice? Yeah. We measure once, we cut once. So if you're gonna, the water heater is 26 years old. It's beyond its life expectancy. You should change it preventively. Okay. Combustion analysis, perfect. No complaints. We're going to clipboard that. We're going to print the results. No! No! If you're dumping a bucket of water that's dripping from your boiler multiple times a day, all right? And you got to add water to your boiler every day. Let's put 2 and 2 together here, ladies and gentlemen. Really nice guy. We changed out the valve, as you saw. Changed out the boiler pressure gauge. Did a combustion analysis. We built a relationship for nothing. From absolutely nothing. The only relationship we had was, a virtual one, because he watches me on YouTube. My vlogs, as he called it. All right, but now we built that relationship, and now we're further going to strengthen it that by means of that $22.95 a monthly service agreement, maintenance agreement for his boiler. It's that easy, ladies and gentlemen. It's that easy. Build those relationships, strengthen the existing relationships, and leave no stone unturned. Lesson learned. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Until next time, be well, God bless, stay safe. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.